Hey, Michael Rand here from the Star Tribune Daily Delivery podcast. How many of you were watching Lynx Golden State Wednesday and just thought to yourself, hey, just not their night, right? Nothing is going the Lynx way. It's game 2 of a 3-game series. They routed the Valkyries in game 1 at Target Center a few nights ago. You come into a hostile building, an underdog team. It's got all the juice from their crowd, and they keep building this lead until it's, 15 at one point in the first half, 13 at halftime, watching in the third quarter. Lynx got a little bit going, but everything they did, Golden State seemed to have an answer. They push it back to like 13 or 14 by the end of the third quarter, and I'm like, it's just not their night. I think they're cooked in this game. I said to myself, not cooked overall, not cooked in the series. Certainly, I thought, you know what, game 3, fine, go back to Target Center. It's a win or go home kind of scenario. Not comfortable, but you would have liked their chances in that game, even if it got a little less comfortable than you wanted it to be. But I was about to turn it off. I actually did turn it off on the TV. I'm like, I got to go to bed. It's like, it's late. It's a 9 o'clock. Unless we have 9:10, 9:15, whenever it was, it actually started, tip off. And I'm like, I got to go to bed. I got to go upstairs, brush my teeth, get ready for bed. I was like, one more check. I'm going to check it on my phone. I'm like, okay. They cut it to 10. Okay. I'm like, all right. So I put it on my phone, watching it on my, the tiny screen in bed. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Now it's 7. Oh man. Now they got it to 3 with about 5 minutes left. Okay. Now Golden State's got it back to 8. But you know what? It was like, okay, they're kind of making a run. All of a sudden, against all odds, against anything that should have been practically done in a game where the Lynx shoot 8 for 28 from 3-point range, like 29%. Golden State shoots 50% from 3, 11 of 22. Game where the Lynx make 5 out of 10 free throws. Nafisa Collier makes 3 of 7 free throws, including some big misses in the second half. She's a 90% free throw shooter. They're not doing much otherwise. They're not getting, it just seems like it's not their night. Somehow they win the game. 75-74. It is not pretty. Their baskets aren't always pretty. It's a lot of gritty baskets down the stretch. It's a lot of hustle plays. It's Galen McBride showing up on defense, possession after possession, flipping in some baskets. It's Collier making big shots, even on a night where she's not great from the line. Bridget Carlton had a bunch of threes in the third quarter. Dejanay Carrington had a couple of really big threes in the fourth quarter. One of them she banked in that kind of got things rolling. I think they were down 10. That made it down 7. You win a game you have no business winning. You win a game where every other team in the league has gone, every other series in the quarterfinals has gone 1-1 now. All the favored teams, or the pseudo favored teams, the teams that all went up 1-0, lost game 2. New York, the team that the Lynx played in the finals last year, they had a huge overtime win over Phoenix on the road in game 1. You're thinking, okay, go into their own building last night, chance to close it out. They're going to close it out. This is a championship team. They lost by 26 to Phoenix. It's not easy. Phoenix is a good team. It's not easy. Now that goes back to Phoenix for a game 3. New York is a road loss away from being out of the playoffs in the quarterfinals. Las Vegas the other night, they'd won 17 in a row. They're in a first-round series. You're thinking collision course, Lynx, finals. Both these are the 2 best teams right now that are playing the best right now. They lose to Seattle. It's a good game, but Seattle comes back and beats them on their home court, on Seattle's home court, 86-83. Atlanta playing against Indiana. No Caitlin Clark. Indiana missing one of their best players. Atlanta loses by 16. Like, this isn't easy. These are not easy series. The Lynx look like they're headed for that same fate, and yet they don't. They get it done somehow, some way. They are the palate cleanser of Minnesota sports. They are the anti-playoff performers in this market. You talk about everything that's happened this week, right? And we'll get to more of that on the rest of the show here, but you talk about everything that's happened the rest of the week. Vikings have their injury report looks like a small novel. It is long. It includes their starting quarterback, their starting running back. It includes offensive linemen. It includes key defensive players. Like, there's a lot of important players on that injury report. They're 1-1. They're about to start Carson Wentz, who got here like 4 weeks ago, and it's not all hope is lost with the Vikings. But this is not the start they wanted. This is a bad start for the Vikings. The Twins lost to the Yankees, lost season, lost to the Yankees. Minnesota United gives up a goal with like 15 seconds left in stoppage time of the extra time. They're out of the U.S. Cup semifinals, U.S. Open Cup semifinals. The Wild, they open training camp today. All we care about right now, though, is Kirill Kaprizov. Is he going to sign? What else? What else is going wrong? Gopher football team lost over the weekend. Timberwolves are fine, but they want a new arena. Nothing's really happening to them right now. But you get the point. Like, everything else is trending either like we're finding something negative or it feels like something's going off the rails. Things look like they're going off the rails for the Lynx, at least for one game, and then they get it back. Somehow they get it back when they're not supposed to. When they aren't looking like it's their night, they still make it their night. Cheryl Reeve talked about that.
You can know it, as the opposing team. You know exactly what you're walking into. Sometimes you can't do anything about it. And I thought that was the case. But one thing is that we were saying our timeouts was, like, I've been doing this a really long time. And what's always kind of strikes you, whether you're up 20 and your fans are hooting and hollering and you think, all right, this is the night, all right. It's a long game. It's a very long game with a lot of possessions. So I know it's 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, and we were still down double figures, 12, 13, kind of go back and forth. I kept going, man, 17 minutes, that's so many possessions, just if we could just hang in there a little bit. Even 5 minutes to go when we had cut it to 3 and they rattled off 5 straight. I asked them not to quit. I asked them to keep, what we were doing, get after it. They believed. Fee and K-Mac were terrific. T navigating the fourth quarter for us. I had mentioned BC to start the third quarter. Exactly what we needed, more of an assassin mentality, because Golden State has assassin mentalities. They're going to shoot whether we're on them or not. So I thought it's human nature, and I guess if we could ever figure out how to guard against it, when you have a win in your pocket, and what's worse that can happen? You go home and try to play, game 3 and try to win that one. I'm thankful that we didn't just slide into that, especially when things weren't going very well for us.
So anyway, shout out to the Lynx. Shout out to getting it done, 75-74. It was a fantastic second half. They sucked me in, got me to watch all of the rest of the fourth quarter when I was like, man, you got to go to sleep. You got to get up. You got to go to bed. You got to do all these things. I couldn't turn it off. You can't turn that off when a team is doing that. Like, hey, they're working harder than I am. They're working way harder than I am. I'm just fighting to stay awake. They're fighting for their playoff lives. Now they don't have to come home and try to win a do-or-die game like everybody else does. They get a bunch of days off before playing Sunday against TBD. We don't know who they're playing yet. We don't even know who they're playing yet. Might be New York, might be Phoenix. Those guys have to play. Those guys have to play again tonight in a pivotal game 3. No, they have to play Friday in a pivotal game 3. The rest of those series going tonight. The Lynx avoid that. They avoid all that. They get a bunch of days of rest, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, get to come home, get some practice time, get themselves geared up for the semifinals. Everybody else has to play, and it's all because they said, you know what? We can still win this game, and they did.